Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I'm back with another video for Creative Retreat Kits. And typically I systematically work through each month's box, and so this month is this one here with all the rainbow, Promise Keeper, that whole theme. But I thought I would change things up for the video today and do something a little bit different. I do want to take a side note, please apologize, the fan noise. It's literally 90 degrees in my house and I cannot film without the fan on. There would be no videos, so we're just gonna have to ignore that. I will try to edit out as much as I can, but sorry guys. Anyways, so I have this month's kit, which is still available. I'll link it down below, but I wanted to show you some tips and tricks for using maybe some other products from Creative Retreat Kits, how to bust your stash, how to store products, things like that. And we'll just kind of do a general, like, everything Creative Retreat process video today. So I am going to set some of this aside because I pulled out some things. So let's talk storage. So I like to store my Creative Retreat kits on these binder rings. You can see right here, I order mine from Amazon. I'll link them down below. And it's just super nice. I separate the alphas from the, word-fetty type stickers in two separate ones. Now for my own record keeping, I like to mark the month and year just because I am on the team. So I like to know what month and year I'm working with, but you don't have to do that. But it just makes it so everything is stored together, and that way I can flip through and use up my product. Now for stamp sets, I get a lot of questions about stamp sets. So I have this little binder. I will link this down below. And it has, you can see these 3x4 pockets, which are perfect for fitting the stamps. I think it comes with a variety of like 3x4 and 4x6 and whatever the full size is, but I just used my fuse tool to make all of the inserts 3x4. I think you can buy 3x4 inserts as well for this, so I will link all that down below. But this is how I keep all of my stamp sets organized from the Creative Retreat kits. That way I can quickly flip through and see, what I want to work with and what I want to pull out. Now I did pull out this one here, the His Love Endures Forever. I did check before I used anything in this video that it is still available. So I will link this stamp set down below because it is still available. I am going to use that today. And I am working in the 100 Days Devotional Journal. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of share with you how to use these products in something outside of Bible journaling that I typically do with them. These are perfect for planners. If you're a planner girl, they're perfectly sized for that. But they're also great for a project like this where you're trying to stash bust, trying to use up some of the products that you might have. This is a great time to use up maybe some leftover Creative Retreat stickers. You can see here I just have a few left on some of these sheets, and I need to use them up. So this is a great project for that. So that is what we're going to do today. I'm going to use a combination of some of the stickers from this month, past stamp sets, and we're going to make everything tailor fit to the devotional content for today, which is day 28, keeping envy out. So we're talking about not resenting others and what they have and what God has given them, focusing on what God has given you and keeping your eye on Him and knowing that everything He's given you is perfect and He intends it for you. And so there's lots of scripture reference here. And so that is what we're going to be working with. I did pull out these alpha stamp sets from Creative Retreat Kits. I think I'm going to use the Atticus Alpha today, but they also have the Zion Alpha. If you didn't realize that they have those, these are great staple items, so I'm going to be using that. I've also pulled out some inks from Creative Retreat Kits. So I have Planetarium, Licorice, and Waterfall Blue. Waterfall Blue may not be available any longer. I'm not sure. I'll link them all down below, whatever is available. These are all pigment inks, so that's what I will be using. And we are just going to put this page together, trying to use up some of my scraps. So let me go ahead and put you on fast forward and we'll get this put together. All right, so this is going to be one of those videos that's just packed full of all kinds of tips. Like this one, I get lots of questions about adding fabric into my projects. So this is one way that I do it. So I have a scrap piece of paper, and I'm just adding some double-sided adhesive. I'm all out of my tape runner, so I'm just using my score tape that I have on hand and adding a couple of strips of that to this scrap piece of paper. And then I like a torn rough edge, so I just snip into my fabric and then tear it off, and that's how you get that rough edge. And I'm going to pleat the fabric onto the adhesive that's on this paper. So you can see I'm kind of folding it and then pressing it down into that adhesive. Now, if you use enough double-sided adhesive, you can get away with just doing this, but I like the added touch of stitching, so I then go take this over to my sewing machine, run it through my sewing machine, and then cut down all the extra paper. And so now I have this sewn piece of fabric that I can insert into my Bible, into a journal, whatever it might be, without having to actually sew into my project. So I hope that kind of helps you, and I will adhere that down here in just a minute, but I wanted to show you how I put that piece together. And I just went through my stash and found some fabric that was in a color that coordinated with the colors on this page. So now I have a piece of grid paper. This is from my stash, and I'm going to be stamping from that stamp set. This is Forever His. Now I am using the Creative Retreat pigment ink. I will say a tip for something not to do. Do not store these inks on their side. I have them turned up on their side in a drawer, and what I found with pigment inks, the pigment actually all runs to one edge. So with these inks, you do want to store them horizontal and flat. That way the ink is evenly distributed throughout the pad. So learn from my mistake. But here is another tip. I love having torn edges on things, and so I'm wanting to tear down this paper. And if you use a straight edge like a ruler and tear against a straight edge, this gives you a controlled tear. I love grunge, I love mess, but I like controlled mess and controlled grunge. So this helps with that. So you can see even for right here, where I'm going to kind of tear around the F, anywhere I place that ruler down gives me an edge so that the tear runs along the edge of the ruler or whatever straight edge you're using. And so that way I don't accidentally, tear into the word that I just stamped, or especially if it's a project that you like stamped and then colored and then you're going to tear. It would be so awful if you tore into something that you didn't want to and mess it up. So this kind of gives you a way to control that. So I'm just going in and roughening it up and tearing it in more places so that it looks organic and messy, but it's controlled mess. So my title is going to spell out, I am forever his, and I am enough, yesterday, today, and always. And so as I was looking at this, everybody's going to take something different out of these devotionals, and that's what's really great about these. You can really personalize them to you and what you're going through. But one thing that I struggle with when I'm comparing myself to others, whether even just be stuff like comparing my house or comparing my vacations or comparing my car, it isn't so much that I have a desire for that bigger, better, nicer thing. It's that I have a desire to appear like I have bigger, nicer things. So I want people to think that my house is nice. Not that I have an issue with my current house, but if I have a nicer house, I want people to notice that I have a nicer house, if that makes sense. And so for me, out of this devotional, I just wanted to take out that all I need to focus on is the fact that I belong to God, I am His, and I am enough just the way that He made me. All the things that He has given me is just enough and exactly what He wants me to have. And so that's what I kind of pulled out of this devotional content. Now you can see I'm attaching the Forever His piece to the fabric with my tiny attacher. Now leave me a comment down below if you guys have this tool. Does yours do like mine? I go to staple, it's not stapling all the way, like it doesn't close the staple. I was gonna buy a new one, but I'm not quite sure if that's just a fault of the Tim Holtz tiny attacher or if it's mine in particular. So let me know down below if you are having the same experience with yours. It's really, really frustrating, but I did go ahead and just staple that onto there, and then I used some liquid adhesive to adhere that entire piece down to the page. You might be able to get away with using a dry adhesive, but with the fabric and the paper and the staples and all that kind of thing, I want to use a strong adhesive and make sure that it's going to stay adhered in there. Now I'm pulling out the cloud stamps from this month's stamp set and using those Creative Retreat inks and just stamping these around the page. The clouds don't really tie into the devotional content. I'm just at this point wanting to just add some fun visual elements around my title and pulling in colors that work with the color that's already on the background. You can see I'm kind of struggling a little bit with that center coil because I did take my journal and have it coil bound, and so I just lift the page up and press it into the stamp itself. The really nice thing about a project like this, working in a journal or a devotional journal as opposed to a Bible, is you kind of have a little more freedom to be messy, to mess up, to explore, to try new things. When I'm journaling a Bible verse on a page, there might be 70 other verses on that page, and so I feel like that one verse I'm journaling really needs to be extra good because I'm choosing that one over the 70 other verses on the page. But in a book like this, I've got 100 pages, 100 things that I'm going to do each and every day. And so I can really just kind of let loose and have fun and just explore and play and make messes, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And so this is a really good project if you're new to Bible journaling and aren't totally comfortable with journaling in a Bible yet, or maybe you've been doing Bible journaling for a while and you just need to kind of let loose and get out of the box a little bit and maybe explore and try some new things and learn some new techniques and try some new products. This is a great way to do that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a devotional journal like this one. It could even just be a plain art journal and just really explore and play in that artistic way that you may not have the freedom to do in a Bible. So you can see here, I went through my alpha stickers, pulled out these ones from December, and I did go ahead and outline those just so that they would stick out just a little bit more where I overlapped them on those clouds. And I did stamp some of the stars from this month as well. And then this floral washi is actually from Creative Retreat as well. And I'm going to use this layered up throughout the page. Again, like I said, I'm trying to bust through my stash. So this is the washi tape that I've only used a couple times. It's really, really pretty. I just haven't really been able to incorporate it into any of the entries that I've done up to this point. And so again, one of the many reasons I like working in a journal like this is I can really just pull these things out and play and use it. And I don't know, this is just a great way to use up your stash. So definitely give it a go, especially if you've been with Creative Retreat as long as I have. I've been with them for a couple years now, so I have tons of stickers and things. Like this sheet here only had like a handful of stickers left on it, and so this is a great way to use those up and feel like I'm not wasting product. I'm going to finish it off with the leftover scraps of washi tape and that bow clippy up there. And then I am going to add a couple more stickers from this month's sticker sheet down at the bottom. It'll say Steadfast Love. And that is going to be it. So if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below. Check out the description box for links to everything that I used today. I hope that this really inspires you to jump in and use up some of the things that you might have laying around on your desk. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.